We didn't have organized school as we know it until the Civil War. And before the Civil War, if you wanted to get a job, you got a job by being an apprentice. Or your parents were rich, in which case you grew up to be a prince or do whatever you wanted. So the number one job of school was to train you to work in a factory. And the number two job of school was to answer the biggest fear that factory owners had, that they were making stuff so fast that people wouldn't be able to buy it all. So they trained you from the time you were in kindergarten to buy. A typical person had 2 pairs of pants. I just read in the Times today, one of the women in Housewives of New Jersey has 401 pairs of stretch jeans. Now, where did she learn that? She learned that from school. When I was in college 400 years ago, I started a student-run business that became the largest student-run business in the country. There was an era then where college students demonstrated to each other that it was possible to become an entrepreneur right out of university. It's always one person says, this is a waste of time, and I could get out of here with a B instead of an A and spend 20 hours a week or 40 hours a week doing the thing I did to allow me to do something that might not work. And that's a decision that only 1% of the people at Harvard are going to make, and only 1% of the people at Tufts are going to make, and only 1% of the people anywhere you go to school are going to make. You've indicated, I think, that you want to be one of the 1% of those people. But you're not going to be able to do that by doing the things that you are good at. The very thing that got you in to school is not going to make this work. Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, totally different tactics to build companies that each changed the world. So the tactics aren't important. What's important is just deciding. So when people talk to me about Acumen Fund, there are 2 things about Acumen Fund that are fascinating to me. The first one is that Jacqueline's mission is so smart that any academic could have figured it out. It's brilliant. The second thing, which is more unique and fascinating to me, is every single person here has decided. When you talk to every single person in this building, or in India, or in Pakistan, or in Tanzania, or wherever you go, they've decided. And to work with people like that is such a thrill that I would gladly pay them for the privilege. So with that intro, here's the answer to the question, why should Acumen bother with you guys? Why should you bother with Acumen? Because after all, Acumen's stated mission is to raise money, patient capital, invest it in wicked smart, underfunded entrepreneurs in the developing world who want to use the money to make a profit selling stuff to poor people. Because the thesis goes, every time a transaction is freely made, both sides win. If they don't, the transaction won't occur. So if you go to somebody who makes $2 a day and sell them a bar of soap, they're giving you the money for the soap because the soap is worth more than the money. So they just made a profit. And the person who sold them the soap is happy to sell them the soap. They just made a profit. And when both sides make a profit, income goes up. When the income goes up on the part of the soap maker hires more people. They hire people to work in the factory, they hire salespeople, they hire people to deliver stuff, all of which means jobs for people on this side who buy more soap. People with more soap are cleaner. Cleaner people are healthier. You lose less days, and people live longer. Education spreads because you're not spending all your time being sick. So all these benefits occur, and nobody showed up with a blank check and said, here's some aid. That you've short-circuited the negative cycle of welfare that says your job is to look good for the camera when I give you this bag of rice. That's a really hard job to scale. Right? You can't look even better and get 2 bags of rice. It doesn't work. But the model of patient capital investing in people who can make money by selling locally to people who can buy scales. So that leads to Acumen's real mission, its secret mission. There's no way this group of people, as committed they are, as much as the decisions they made, could fund all the people they need to fund, could raise all the money they need to raise, could catch up 300 years worth of capitalism and insight from the developed world and bring it to places in the world where it'll pay off. That the more people who sell more stuff door to door in Tanzania, the easier it's going to be to build a culture of commerce that actually benefits people on both sides. So what Acumen needs is competition. Now what Acumen needs is not just competition, but really good competition, really smart competition. because only when that happens will there be enough smart people like you who want to work on these projects. Only when that happens will there be enough money coming in through all the various competitors to fund these projects. Acumen's goal isn't to win. Acumen's goal is to change the world. Making change is addictive. Making positive change, doing things that matter to people will change your life forever for the better. So every one of you is capable of getting into med school if you want to, but that would be a bad decision because you're signing up to be a cog in a broken system. We're not going to run out of doctors. Let someone else be a doctor. What your job is to do is to figure out how to lead, how to connect people, how to break rules that don't get you in too much trouble. Don't expect that when you set out to make it happen, the phone's going to ring the second day and it's the president of the university saying, how can I help? I heard what you were doing. It's wonderful. Would you like to use our auditorium? And what you're going to do instead is fail over and over and over again. Because if it was easy, everyone would have done it already. It's not easy. That's why you're here. But the failure, every one of the cycles of failure is going to teach you something. You are here because Yasmina's betting you're going to be a surprise bestseller. That you're going to do something that we don't have the formula for, and then everyone else is going to copy you. But you're going to have to decide first, and I hope you do. I really appreciate what you're doing.